As we approached the city, we didn't see any destruction because we had 6-foot-high board fences all around the town, and so you could. But as soon as you got through that gate that we went through and looked back at that fence, it was just charred black on that side. On the other side, it was standing just like a normal fence. So it showed how the bomb behaved. And then we drove into the middle of the city and got out and saw all the things that it was so devastating that I wore glasses. And as a kid, I would go to the doctor's office, and he had these trays of lenses and empty frames that he'd say, "Is this better or is this better?" And so I saw that laying there, and it was just melted, the glass in the frame solid, but it was too large for me to pick up and bring back.
Now, you knew that an atomic bomb had been dropped.
Yes.
But no one really knew what that meant. What were you and your fellow soldiers saying to each other as you saw all that devastation? Because you once told me it was as if a sledgehammer had hit the city.
Yes. As I wrote to my wife that night after I got back, I told her that it did look just like a sledgehammer. It had taken a big sledgehammer, it had gone through the city and just broke everything in little pieces. Except the streetcars were blown off the tracks, burned. The tracks were all twisted and from the heat and the explosion. And the bridge over the river was about 4 foot high, I guess, and with partitions of pillars in between. And as we stood there and looked at that bridge, on the side that the blast came through, looked like it had sandblasted the bridge that very day. And on the other side, there was just like hundreds of years of dirt. So that shadow went across the bridge.
I know you've picked up some things that you've kept as souvenirs all these years. Can you tell us what's in your display box?
Yes. The first thing I picked up was the sake bottle. That's a sake bottle. And you can see how it was melted and twisted and skidded along the ground. And some of the dirt at the bottom of the bottle, and I've never washed it since and it was easy for me to get that, and these aluminum coins that show how the blast affected them.
Melted them.
Just melted them, and it just was so devastating to everything. And
were your other soldiers that you were with also picking up mementos?
I think so, but every guy went by themselves.
Sure.
Kind of.
Sure.
We all went different directions. Would you want me to tell about the piece of skull?
If you wouldn't mind. I know it's a little grisly, but it's...
And I was walking along, I saw this piece of skull it had been a lady because it had long black hair as the Japanese women had. And here was just the piece of skull by itself with this covered with this long black hair. That was a mystery to me, how the bomb behaved in that way. Obviously, she was blown to bits, but there was that skull laying with the hair on it.
You wrote your wife that day, I think, when you got back to camp, and I think that's part of your display. What did you tell her about, I think you talked about the future now that you had seen atomic weapons. What did you tell her?
I told her that it was so devastating that I would hate to see any city in our country have to suffer the loss of life and damage that caused at that time, and hoped and prayed that it would never happen in this country.